Someone slacks Summer and says, "Hey, you got a second? I know you are not in our office, but I got to tell you about Bob. Bob is, we've convinced him to return to office. He's here 3 days a week, but today isn't Bob's best hygiene day, or isn't like people are complaining he smells. What advice would you give to the manager that's slacking you about this, or the employee who is the vocal leader in the organization, and they're like, "Hey, we gotta fix this."
Sure. Well, I would say first, if it was an employee and not the manager, I would get in touch with the manager to confirm what the person who's reported it, to confirm that this is indeed accurate. Because let's face it, Joey, sometimes we see disgruntled employees, unhappy employees who may be out, like kind of targeting and complaining against another individual. So if it came from the manager, I would trust that they're providing accurate info. But if it came from an employee, I would verify it first with the manager, to make sure that this was indeed accurate. And then, of course, because this would be one of our clients that we've worked with and set them up for success early on, they would have a dress code policy that not only included expectations for appearance, but also for hygiene as well. And that's really going to be the basis of the conversation that either the manager would need to have with this individual, or that we could have alongside with the manager.
All right, and you're not off the hot seat yet, Summer. So manager and employee confirm. Yep, Bob, it's him. He's the one. What do you say to Bob?
Well, I think it largely depends on like who has the best relationship with Bob. Because if the manager has a close relationship, it's really going to be best for the manager to have that conversation with guidance from us, versus like if I'm their HR rep and maybe I have never had a chance to talk with Bob, it's going to make it already more awkward. But depending on what relationship is has already been established with the individual, I think you just really need to come out and say it. And it could be something along the lines of, Bob, I need to talk to you about something. We recognize that it may be a little uncomfortable, but we wanted to talk to you about, there appears to be a smell which I think is body odor, and I just kind of wanted to talk to you about it and see, um, is there anything that we might be able to help you with? So it's kind of delicately walking the line of, hey, like we think there might be an issue, but it's not coming right out and saying it. And it opens the door for Bob to say, "Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm training for a marathon. I'm so sorry." Or, I don't really want to discuss it, but I've been dealing with some health challenges, and like, I know it's a problem. Um, and then, depending on how the team member responds and kind of which direction it takes, either they're going to recognize, like, I probably shouldn't train for the marathon and come right in. And hopefully that's enough to, like, you know, to fix that type of issue. But if somebody says that it's either, their religious, their cultural, or medical condition, then we should shift to the type of conversation, which is like, if it's medical, then we should go through the interactive process and talk about what type of accommodations might make sense. So, for example, if it's medical and somebody's undergoing treatment and this may be resolved at some point in the near future, then maybe allowing them to work from home or working different shifts might be a reasonable accommodation to fix it for everybody. So that's just one example, but I think depending on how the team member responds, the next part of the conversation could go in so many different directions.